given it a lot of thought, and I think today's the day I'm gonna propose. What's up, guys? Jason here, Aspiring Entrepreneur, showing you the day in the life of a budding entrepreneur, and today is day number 3 of full-time agency building, whatever you want to call it, and it's going to be the first day that I submit a proposal on Upwork. Have no idea what it's going to be. Finished the rough draft of my pitch deck yesterday. Still haven't gotten the feedback on it I want from some family and friends. But you know what? You just gotta ready, fire, aim. So I'm gonna ship it off and do a bunch of thumbtack requests, as many as I can this morning, because I got a little surprise break that I get to take later today that I'll take you along for that fun ride. But for now, it's time to dive in and find, well, first I have to fix my Upwork profile because the silly site was crashing yesterday. So once I fix my Upwork profile, update my portfolio, then it's time to find a job to submit a proposal to. Here we are, a few hours later. Proposal is about to be sent. This is going to be the first proposal. So I spent a great deal of time fixing my Upwork profile. I had a bunch of Excel things up there because when I first started Upwork, I thought I was going to do a bunch of Excel stuff. So I figured better to have a full portfolio of kind of cool looking stuff than just like 2 things. So I went and rewrote and re-optimized those descriptions and actually had to combine a lot of things because Upwork didn't allow you in the past to have multiple files in one portfolio, whatever you call it, piece. So I used to have the screenshot and then the second one was the Excel sheet, but now you can combine them. So I went through, combined all of those, and for some reason that took 3.5 hours. And so now I've got my pitch deck. This particular client is looking for someone to do keyword research for SEO and SEM or PPC. While I don't have really that much experience with SEO, I know I have a lot of research experience with PPC, and I know nothing like a good 5 or 6 hours of reading Neil Patel's blog will help me figure out the SEO side if I do get hired, but I do know enough to go through a conversation. So went using a tool called SERPstat. I just went to the guy's website, did a quick website audit for UK and US because he's somewhere in Europe, so I don't know which place he wants to go. Just trying to add some extra value, going super cheap. I think I'm quoting like $12 an hour for this one, and that's simply because my last review and projects were almost 2 years ago on Upwork. So I need some quick wins out of the gate, and reviews are going to be much more important than the hourly rate just to build up that profile and add to the case studies and examples. So this green button right here, this signifies proposal number 1 for ACT Marketing. So you hear this entrepreneur moment. We're going to look back on this and say, hey, this was the first proposal that started a big business, or this was the first proposal that you submitted out of 100 that never were successful. So who knows? But we're starting now. Oh, well, that's really anticlimactic. Yes, I understand the policies. Okay, now we're starting. See, new green button. Now we're starting. Submit. Yes! 1 done. It's probably going to be like 1 out of 100 over the next couple of weeks here. But proposal 1 is done. Time to refill on coffee and then go on a little work break adventure. What's always my fault? Everything. Apparently everything's always my fault. Anyway, it was a super cool game. Time to go to a coffee shop and check up on some leads. And here we go. Here's my profile. So just wanted to show you what I've been doing over the past few hours. This is by no means a definitive guide to setting up an Upwork profile. I'll record that video after I get some actual leads and feedback. So for now, this is just preliminary what I set up. So I just wanted to run through super fast why I chose particular things. I went super targeted on the skills I have, just focusing pretty much on driving traffic. So
PPC campaigns. That's where all of these tags come from. Then I have your virtual CMO, get more customers. I thought that'd be better than just saying, marketing and then listing out all the keywords, because I wanted a nice combination of calling out and being different, saying, virtual CMO, get more customers, having my value proposition right there in my title, but also having PPC, SEM, AdWords, Bing, Facebook for the keywords when people type in looking for freelancers. So this first part is for marketing. The second part is just for keywords. And then I'll eventually, this is kind of cool. They added a place where you can have a video. So once my pitch deck is all good to go, I'll do a screen capture of my pitch deck and put it there. And so this, I'll do another video on it. You can pause if you're really interested, but essentially I'm just differentiating myself by saying, hey, I am results oriented and I drive action. I understand that marketing is for your bottom line, not just to get a bunch of silly social media followers. And then here we have the portfolio. So this is what actually took me the longest. So I went through here, excuse me, and the first one is my portfolio. The second one is an example of a lead magnet that I did for a Fiverr, essentially for a Fiverr business a couple of years ago. And then also I have some Excel work here because I used to be a freelancer for Excel stuff, which if you're thinking about being a freelancer for Excel, it's a really tough road because I just wound up spending too much time bidding on the actual project. So they'd send me the Excel sheet or they'd send me what they wanted, and then I'd have to go figure out what formulas I was going to use, or I'd have to analyze their Excel sheet. And it was just such a huge time commitment that by the time I actually got the project started or got paid, I'd already spent a good 30 minutes to an hour, closing the client or going over what they needed. And by that point, it was just completely unprofitable because you can't really charge, the clients don't really want to pay for you like figuring out what to do in Excel, even though by the time you know what to do, it's really, really fast. They just want to pay for that fast part. They don't want to pay for you trying to figure everything out. So anyway, all right, so here we go. I'll just quickly run through these. So I first started with a pitch deck, and then you can include a bunch of tags. So I tag stuffed every single one of these. I maxed out the skill tags I could attach to each one of these. I just outline a few key features and then tell them in a quick sentence what it is. So this is my pitch deck. I'll go over it later. This I literally created in Canva in like 3 minutes because I didn't have a cool cover for it. And so if you have work that you don't have a cool screenshot for, definitely go take the time to make a screenshot. Like this right here, this image of the Excel sheet is completely impractical for what the Excel sheet does. I literally made this just so I could have a nice looking screenshot. And I know that sounds really disingenuous. However, it looks kind of cool. Even though it's completely impractical, it looks really cool. And anyone looking at it who doesn't really understand Excel can look at it and go, oh, wow, yeah, that looks like a really nice dashboard. Of course, you'll download it and you'll see what it can actually do. And the power behind it is not really in this, but picture's worth 1,000 words, and you really want a pretty picture. And so here's another Excel one. This is a financial startup model. And then I just included this one so my portfolio would at least have 2 pages. And even though it's not really relevant to what I'm doing now, at least it has, one. What I wanted is at least 1 and 2. And so most people will probably click on one of these 4 and then call it good. And I know that just from being a hirer myself, I quickly go through and then choose 1 or 2 things to look at, because I don't expect everyone to be diving into each aspect of my portfolio, which is part of why I only have 5 things for them to look at. So if they're down here and they're going to look at my portfolio, they're probably only going to choose 1 or 2 things. So I want to really, really guide them to the 1 or 2 things that are the best of what I have to offer, which is why I don't have 13 pages of portfolio stuff, because I don't want to overwhelm someone who's trying to hire me. And then, of course, in my OneNote file, I went ahead and saved everything. And this is really critical. I can't tell you guys how important it is to save everything that you're doing in a OneNote file someplace. Sorry, guys, that's the oven. The French fries are done.
Unsalted French fries? Who does that?
And Of course, I like OneNote because I can attach the Excel files as well. So anyway, just wanted to give you a brief overview of what I worked on with my profile.
And finally back home. It's been a nice, actually relaxing day today. Took a few hours off for that baseball game. It was a lot of fun. Sorry I couldn't show you, but I know if I have any video footage of any sort of sports game, the YouTube guys are going to come down on me hard and remove my video. So I figured a picture would be best instead of trying to record something. Although there was a guy in front of us with a GoPro recording half the game, so I don't know what he does with that or how he gets away with it. But anyway, didn't want to make a big fuss. I actually had to go back to the car and put my tripod back in my backpack because going through security, they were like, no tripods or selfie sticks. And I actually tried to be like, oh, well, it's not a tripod, it's a selfie stick. I don't have a camera. Like, you can't have those either. I was like, okay, great. Well, I'm just stuck now. So I had to run back to the car. That was a little frustrating, but it's fun every once in a while to break the norm, get out and go watch a good old-fashioned baseball game. Glad I don't do that every week. I don't really understand how people do that, but hey, everyone's got their hobby. Well, while I was at plugging away at Starbucks, had the super frustrating experience where I was typing up a Thumbtack proposal. I hit submit, and then at first it said it's 1,000 characters. It's more than 1,000 characters. I went, okay, fine. So I deleted my last PPS, my last call to action, hit submit again. It was still over 1,000 characters. And of course, they don't give you a character count, right? They just tell you it's over 1,000 characters. I'm like, this is really not helpful. And so I just deleted another random line and hit submit. And then it loaded for a good 45 seconds. And then it told me that 5 other people had already proposed to it, so I couldn't propose. So I don't know if I took too long. And this was all within the span of 5 minutes. So I'm starting to think that with Thumbtack, it really is people just sending off generic proposals, and just not really caring about being custom or like addressing any of the concerns that are in the posting. Of course, with only 1,000 characters, it's not like you can address too much, but I'd like to have a little more than just like, hey, blank, fill in the name. I do marketing stuff and you should hire me, kind of just generic whatever. Most of the time you want to stand out, kind of like what I did this morning with my Upwork profile. So we'll try to find a good combination of that. I wound up sending off my pitch deck to, a couple of close family friends, and then I'll have a call later with my dad who used to be in corporate sales or whatever, so he'll go over my pitch deck and tell me what's good and what's not, and I'll start including that pitch deck with all of the proposals I make. So anyway, that's it for today, day 3. Much shorter than the other days, but I found that I went way too hard yesterday. My entire body is sore from those treadmill wind sprints. So I'm actually going to wind up taking the next 2 days off for my knees to recover. Went way too hard. Lesson learned. Actually, not really, because as soon as I recover, I forget. Those of you who work out, as soon as you recover, you forget, and then you go and go just as hard as again, because that's just how you are. That's just how you do it. So, anywho, I'm starting to ramble now. Keep building the business you love. I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.